Alrighty. Back to work. It's easier to stand up for some of this stuff. So this one is the one I tied up. That is a heart right here, some space in the middle, a circular rainbow around it, and then maybe some sky effect on the outside of that. So I'm going to start by dyeing the heart. Everyone generally likes red or fuchsia hearts, so I'm going to go with the red. I will be dyeing that shower curtain today. I've had a lot of requests. People want to watch the dye placement on it. The reveal won't be for a couple of days, because I've got to let it set for a couple of days, because that's a really big piece. But I will be dyeing it today, at least. Yes, eventually I plan on getting t-shirts. I can't afford them right now. But yes, eventually I will be getting t-shirts to do. I can't tell you when that'll be, because I cannot predict my sales. But I'm going to have to sell, you know, probably 20 to 30 tapestries before I have the funds. And that's not selling one a week. I need to sell like 20 a week in order to make orders like that for t-shirts. So for now it's tapestries. Whenever I do plan on doing shirts, I will be announcing that. But like I said, I don't think it's going to be anytime too awful soon. So I would not get my hopes up on that just yet. Wow, that red came out looking kind of orange to me. But I did use a different red this time. I used my my bright red instead of my mixing red. "45 years, huh? Wow, that's a long time to be without a tie-dye. A lot of people look at tie-dye as like it's just coming back, and it's not. It's not just coming back. It's actually never really died. That's funny. It's never died. Tie-dye has never died. It's just that for a long time, only a small group of people were doing it and actually still appreciating it. But it's not an art that's died, and that's funny. It's not a dead art. We'll put it that way. Tie-dye is not a dead art. I know, I've liked it my entire life, and I'm 36. So this is the rainbow section of this dye, this tapestry. So I start with my yellow, because yellow it's the lightest color. And you can't put a dark color on and then expect the yellow to show up over it. But you can put a light color on and put some dark over it, a little bit of dark over it, and still see some of that yellow shine through. So yellow first is what I usually do whenever I start my rainbows. And then I work my way up one side or the other of the color wheel. I'll put that green just barely touching it there. I'm gonna throw my royal blue over that because my turquoise is going to be kind of my sky blue. So it's going to go in my sky areas. Okay. Got to do a little bit of purple there on that end. Just a little bit. Not a lot because it does bleed and run. Okay. So now I need to go up the other side of the color wheel. I'm going to rinse out my syringe so I don't mix the orange and the purple. I'll peek at the chat here in just a minute. Do this side first. Okay, I don't have a lot of orange, so I've been going very sparingly with that. Did order my orange though, so it's coming. And now since I did the red for the heart, I always change it up a little bit. If I do red for the heart, I'll do fuchsia for my rainbow. So I'm going to do fuchsia for that end of the rainbow. Okay, so now I've got my rainbow dyed. I've got my heart dyed. So I'm going to work on my sky and clouds, which is going to surround the heart in the center of the circle rainbow, and also going to be on the outside of my tapestry. The background, if you will. Rinsing out my syringe so that I can get that fuchsia out of there, so then I can use my turquoise. And now what I usually do for my sky is I'm gonna do some drips here and there of the turquoise. Just some drips in there. And I like to leave a space of white kind of outside the red, because when you mix turquoise and red or fuchsia, it becomes purple. Flip that over and get the other side of it. Okay, so now that I have that part done, I'm going to push out the rest of the turquoise out of my syringe, but I'm not going to rinse it this time. I'm going to fill the syringe with water because it's going to give me a lighter turquoise, as you can see. I don't know if you can see. I'm going to go back in once more and fill that syringe, well, maybe about halfway. And that's going to give me an even lighter shade of blue, of turquoise, to fill in the gaps. And it'll also make that dark turquoise run a little bit and blend. Do the other side like that. This time I'll put a little bit of water in my syringe and then suck up a drop of that turquoise. Mix it up. Let's see, even a different shade of turquoise, which is fine. Get some water in there. Water that color down, make it a lighter color. Fill in the gaps. All right, so this tie-dye is pretty well saturated. Get me a clean deal here to put it on. There we go. That one should come out pretty. Be right back. Clean off my screen here. Good morning, Ed. It's not morning here, but if you just woke up, it's morning anywhere. I guess you guys thought it was a good day to die too. Why not? We're supposed to have a bad storm, but it like sprinkled a little bit and then quit. Go figure. I love these shop towels. As long as you're gentle with them, you can reuse them. Like you can rinse them out really good and let them dry and then reuse them. Like wash rags kind of. But thinner, probably cheaper in the long run. You might have me confused with someone else, Sunset Creations. Because I've never been that sick. Okay, so this is a peace sign. according to my notes here. This is a peace sign. I really should only be working with one screen. This other one's just kind of getting in the way. So let me move this real quick. I have tie-dye artists going, oh no, don't do that. You should never put blanks on a dye table or anything that has dye on it on your blank table. Because that is how things get messed up. Look at my fingers and becoming colored. I'm not being as careful today. Supposed to wear gloves, but you know, all those contraptions get in my way. So I don't like to wear gloves. Alright, getting set up a little bit better here. Let's bring you closer. All messages. There we go. That's better. Miss Sunset Creations. I have never had cancer. I've been sick before, but not with cancer. But thank you. I mean, I appreciate your concern for those who have been sick. Yes, I'm doing well. Thank you. Okay, so this is a peace sign. And this part right here that I have colored with the, let me flip this around, be able to see it better. So this part right here is the legs and the outside, the round part of the peace sign. This part right here would be the inside, the not legs part of the peace sign. And then from here out is the background. So I like to do colors that contrast like pretty good. Like if the inside of my peace sign, the blank space of the inside of the peace sign was going to be fuchsia, I would want the legs and everything to be purple. Or if I was doing a green inside, I would want the legs to be blue, dark blue. So I really like green and blue, and I've done a lot of work with blue today. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick with that. I'm gonna do the light green and going to do the royal blue. And I mixed my colors a little lighter this time. So maybe they'll come out a little more brighter than dark. Well, whatever we do to one side, we most generally want to do to the other side. But sometimes we don't. Sometimes we do just the opposite. We want to do one side one color and the other another. There's really no wrong way to do tie-dye. It's just however you want to control the colors. It's your desire. Right, now we're gonna go. I'm shaky today. So I'm having a hard time controlling the dye. I have days where I'm shakier than others. Just depends on how much pain I'm in, what the arthritis is doing to me that day. That's why I use a syringe. You'll notice a lot of tie-dye artists like to use squirt bottles or pipettes. I use a syringe because I can control it better, and I actually don't have like the best of syringes. They have some smaller ones that have smaller tips where you can really control that dye. Okay, so another thing I like to do sometimes is give things a border. Like for example, I'll go around the outside of something with black so that it makes that other pattern really pop. So I could border it with black, and I have a different syringe for the black, and I had forgotten that. I'd been doing lots of extra rinsing that was unnecessary. But I'm going to go ahead and, well, that's why I don't use the syringe too, because it's a pain in the butt. Okay, so the difference in syringes. My orange one I bought at the feed store. It's a, it's more for cattle, and it has an udder needle at the tip of it. And I had to grind off the very end to make it a round hole, because udder needles are kind of strange. They have a round tip and then 2 holes out the side of them. I had to do the same though with the turkey baster, or well, it's just it's like a meat injector or turkey baster or something like that, and I got this one at Walmart. But the difference is the slider on this one has rubber. The slider on this one has silicone. This one I can put Vaseline on it, and it's a smooth, it comes out smoothly. This one's kind of choppy, and I don't know, maybe KY would help with that because it's silicone. I'm not sure. I just know that it's this black one's kind of a pain in the butt, and it doesn't help me control the dye very well. But if I just go gently, I should be able to make it through it. Without making any disastrous big squirts. Because that's what we don't like, is the big uncontrolled squirts that go everywhere. Okay. And I think I'll make that border a little on the thick side. The sounds from tie-dye. Okay. So now that I have my black border on there, I can do the rest of the tapestry, the background of the tapestry, however I would like. And I already have turquoise in my syringe, so I'm going to go with that color because it's already there. The less rinsing I have to do, the less dye I waste. But I'm going to start probably at this end, and I'm going to do something different. Sometimes I just feel like being different. Okay, so I got the turquoise line. I'm gonna do let's see, what should I do? I'm gonna pick up some of this recycled color, maybe. I might do some of that next. I gotta rinse out my syringe first. Well, this is a recycled color that reminds me of Plum Blossom. It's pretty. Basically, this is from my, when I rinse out my syringe, I get a bucket of colors that are mixed up, and I decided to keep it this time and use it. Okay, I'm going to do the rest of that up in purple. Purple's a really pretty color. I do reveals, so whenever I go to rinse these out, you guys will get to see what they look like. Okay, and then I'm gonna rinse that out a little bit. I'm going to throw baby blue on this. Wherever I see white. And these colors are gonna mix up and look really cool together. All right, so there you have it. There's the peace sign. It's going to be green and blue, and then the background, it's going to have a line of black around it, and then it's going to have fuchsia and baby blue and turquoise and, what was that other color I threw in there? Purple. Now I've got to put it in here. I'm going to go set it out there and I'll be right back. And we'll work on the next project. A lot of my stuff is on an incline right now, so it's probably going to create some different effects. Hey, Caterpillar! You're welcome. She was being super cute, so like I had to do it. She has her moments. Most of the time, she's asleep on the bed. But she has her moments when she's feeling ornery or playful, and she's like, just listen to me. I have something to tell you. I know you don't understand, human, but still, just listen to what I have to say. It's important to me. I love my dog. She is literally the best thing in the world to me. I didn't get to take her for a walk on her birthday. Hi, Bush baby. It was pouring down rain all day. Tie-dyer's fingers. I found Texas. Nova is not fixed. And as soon as I find the right male for her, we're going to have babies. Alright, this is my pot leaf. Maple leaf, whatever you want to call it. I don't even have to look at the number. I know what it is. My pot leaves have worked out better if I do the inside a darker green and the outside a lighter green, I think. I think that's how that worked. The best last time. Yeah. So, since I'm working with a lighter and darker color, I work with the lighter colors first. That way that dark color doesn't drown it out. Whatever reaches the inside of the layers. Hey, Miss Wanda. Have you received your package yet, Miss Wanda? I haven't looked at the tracking on it or nothing. Okay, so it's the outside of the leaves that need to be the light green. Just trying to remember. It's been a long time since I've done a leaf. Darker color. That darker green up in the center part of that. Alright, there's my leaf. I hope it turns out okay. I hadn't done one in so long, I have no idea what that's going to be like. But this is also something that I like to border in black. So, let me whip out that black syringe that's a pain in the butt. Come on. Why do you gotta be such a pain? Okay. You gotta be really careful with black. Because if you let it, it will take over your entire project. And I'm so shaky today that it very well could. So if you notice, when you're working with this color, because it's liquid, it grows towards whatever it grows. It flows, it moves. It doesn't just stay right where you put it because it's a liquid. It wants to go to dry places in the fabric. So it spreads very easily. So you have to be very careful, otherwise it will screw up your whatever your design you're trying to do. Okay, that's good enough. Now I need to figure out what I'm going to do for this part of it. I was going to do fire, I believe. I believe that was my aim on this one, to do fire around the leaf. So back to the other syringe. I rinse this baby out because it has green in it. And then for my fire, I like to do the majority of it's got to be yellow. Okay, and then you take orange, which I have to be careful with because I don't have a lot. I'm gonna do some lines with that orange over the yellow. And then you take red and go right back over those same lines where you put the orange. And then I like to drop some black in there. Just some drops over that red. Okay, I gotta flip this baby over and do the other side just like it. Which means I gotta rinse my syringe out again. Get that red out of there. And we grab the yellow. And basically do the whole thing yellow. Oh, you can't see that very well. There. Then we go over the yellow with our lines of orange. And then over the orange with our lines of red. And that should make kind of some flames for us. And then we go over all that with a little bit of black. Now that should be a fiery leaf when it comes out. And my leaves have not always been winners, so it's just as much a surprise to me as it is to you whenever I unfold them. But if it comes out badass, if I were you, I'd be calling dibs on that shit. And I got enough space on this one to put another. Hope there's no dye at the bottom of this thing. Putting it on my bed. Dangerous. Dangerous! I should just tie-dye my bedspread and not have to worry about it. I would still pet him. I found Texas. I love baby puppies, even if they're not babies anymore. Very important to wipe away all the drips before you start your next project, in case there's a color that doesn't mix well with the color you're trying to apply. I have forgotten in the beginning, when I started doing this, I forgot to wipe it down or rinse it off, and then I laid something that I started dyeing yellow down on some purple drips and had some ugly brown spots where they shouldn't have been. So I learned in the beginning to make sure you wipe this shit down a little bit before you put your next piece on there. Because once it's there. I mean, it sticks. Okay, I have 2 pieces left to dye over here. Let's see, this one is just a heart. I already did a blue heart today for blue eyes. So I'm going to do, let's do a purple heart today. I haven't done a purple heart. Then again, most people don't like purple hearts, so maybe I should just stick with the red. I already have red in the syringe anyway. So yeah, I'll stick with red. Okay. We'll do a red heart. But I'm going to do red on one side and fuchsia on the other. That way I have another one of those hearts that have... It's kind of like, okay, so whenever you have a fan fold and you do one side one color and the other another, you have these colors that kind of like, say this is red and this is purple or fuchsia or whatever. You'll see them, you'll see the different colors. It kind of looks like, say that this hand is fuchsia and this one's purple. You'll see the difference like this. It'll look like on the fabric. So I'm doing this side red, and then I'm going to flip it over and do the other side purple, or not purple, fuchsia, which is like, it's like red, but it's more of a hot pink red. Okay, and this part, I don't remember if it was supposed to be a spiral or what. That's okay. So what comes after red? Purple. Gonna do purple next. I know I need to get Nova her own channel. That way it can be nothing but puppy love on that channel. I've actually had some dislikes on recordings of her and the rain, which always kind of confuses me. Like, how can you, I don't know, how can you dislike it that much? I feel it's not the videos themselves, but the creator maybe. Okay, so red, fuchsia, purple, blue, green, yellow. Dibs on the peace sign, but you haven't even seen it yet. It's not done yet. But okay. I hope it comes out like it's supposed to. I really like the emerald green. I'm going with emerald today. Blue. I'll go with the dark blue over here. Hello, Deaf Bread. Welcome. My mom's going off today about not eating red meats. I've been telling her this for years. So funny. Listen to her. I know, right? But, you know, that's right. They don't have to watch, but they do. And then they have to have an opinion. So, but that's life. People got to be hateful and stuff. I don't understand it, but I mean, I get it when there's like a thumbs down and whenever I share my thoughts and feelings. I get that. Not everyone likes each other's thoughts and feelings, but how can you just like, I mean, as soon as my video comes out, before the length of it has even been watched, if it's about rain or my dog, like I literally have someone there going, I hate this stuff. But that's like, that's the world we live in now. People are quick to share that hate. It makes absolutely no sense to me, but maybe it's because I'm not one of them. Oopsie, had a splatter. Did you see that? Purple splattered out to my yellow, so I'm gonna have some spots on my yellow that I don't like. But that happens when you let the syringe get too low with color and you're at the end there. It'll kind of squirt out and splatter everywhere. So you kind of want to put it close to the material or in the material. Yeah, I don't know how much truth there is to that about the thumbs down actually helping the channel. I don't know how much truth there is to that. I know that YouTube's doing a lot of things differently now, and they're making it easier for people to hate on each other, that's for sure. Normally I would take this dye and run some black over it, just to throw in some different designs, but I'm going to leave this one as just a rainbow. No black this time. Black and rainbow do go well together though. I'm gonna let that set for a second. Let those colors get absorbed in there real good, leak off any extra before I stick it on the tray with the other one. I have one more small tapestry to dye, and then I'll be working on the shower curtain that everyone's been waiting for. This. And the last small tapestry that I have to do today is another starflower. Starflower's been something that I've been working on. I really want to perfect the die placement on that fold. I have a really nice one behind me, and I have another really nice one in my mom's room that I did. Second, and I will show you guys. So behind me I have a starflower, and as you can see it's rainbow dyed, but it has some black on it, and the black gives it some definition on the feathering of the flower, and I'm really looking to bring more of that feathery out. So one second and I'll take you to show you the other one. I'm going to mute it for just a second so you guys can't hear the conversation happening in the other. Oopsie. Sorry. I forgot that I was muted. I put a couple more up on my wall. And they are for sale. But yeah, oops, I lied. I have 2 tapestries that I have to do. The starflower and then this one, which is it's a mushroom with a butterfly in flight, kind of some grass, and a sun over here. So this is the sun, this is the mushroom, and this is the butterfly. And then that's the shower curtain back there that everyone's like, are you gonna dye that thing? I've been procrastinating on the shower curtain because it's gonna take a lot of dye. And it's the only one I have, so I couldn't sell it. How much are the ones on my wall? This one is $50 plus shipping and PayPal fees. That one over there is $15 plus shipping and PayPal fees. This one's $20. That one's $15. And I forgot this one up here. Get the light out of the way here. This one's $20. The largest item I ever tie-dyed. The shower curtain's probably gonna be it. Well, maybe not. Okay, it's large, but it's not as large as the sheet that I did. I did a sheet one time, and it was a queen size sheet, I'm pretty sure. But it's thin. This shower curtain's pretty thick, so. And there's Nova. And I don't suggest doing this ever. Don't put dyed items on your bed. Even if you think they're safe, don't do it. I don't recommend it. I do it, but I don't recommend it. This dye right here, this one was not done by me. This was done by Tie-Dye Ron. He is a world famous tie-dye artist, and that is a Ron Star. And I bought that straight off his wall, tattered and torn. I have it folded so you can't see where it's torn up. But that opens up to a big, beautiful star. So, let me get back to work here. Got a couple pieces to do before I get that shower curtain done. I want to do the shower curtain last simply because it's going to take a lot of dye, and I want to get these little pieces done first. Hopefully I won't have to mix any more dyes up today. That would be great. That's pretty good right there. Okay, so I gotta move this thing. Touch the dark colors just in case I have something loose in my hands. Now, because I'm kind of picky about the next two, I'm actually going to go get one of these wet. And get the loose dye off of my screen because I don't want to screw it up. control you. If you're disabled, you have to go to the fucking doctor or you lose your disability. Sorry, my mom is ranting, so am I. Is the dye expensive? Yes. I ordered 3 colors the other day. 3. Yellow, orange, and fuchsia. And it cost me $35. And I have to wait a week. The dyes are the most expensive part. Well, besides the fabric. Fabric can be expensive too, depending on what you use. Okay. So now that part is done. Moving on. I'm going to go ahead and do this piece. This is the scene with the mushroom, the sun, and the butterfly. Coral, mint green, pale yellow, and pink. They actually have all those colors available at the place that I purchased dyes. They actually have those colors. I couldn't believe it when I seen it. I was like, they actually have mint green? Which is kind of like, it's like taking emerald green, a tiny bit of light green, and watering it down a lot. That's a mint green. But they have been doing, there's a lot of people that have been doing more pastel colors with their dyes. Because there's like a pastel goth thing happening or whatever. So a lot of people are using pastel colors, which is basically watering your colors down, like a lot. Now, please don't misunderstand. When you water your colors down, it doesn't make it doesn't make them necessarily weaker, like they won't last as long. All it does is change the tint of the dye, the shade of the color. It'll still be just as vibrant and last just as long as the other colors. It's just a different tint to the color. Okay, so now we're gonna do this. I am going to start with the sun on this one because it's yellow. And I like to start with my lighter colors first. I usually do my mushrooms blue and purple. I don't know why. I just, in my head, it seems like blue and purple is the right color for mushrooms. On my sun, I'm going to do the whole thing yellow first, and then I'll go over the edge of it with some orange. But I'm going to let that yellow run out a little bit before I mess with the orange. So, because it's rubber banded off, but there's going to be some rays kind of going in there a little bit, bleeding through. So I'm going to let that set for a minute before I kill it with the orange because it's a darker color. And I'm going to move on to the mushroom. It actually should be brown, you know. Mushrooms should be brown, but I don't have any brown mixed up right this moment. So I'm going to go with what I would normally do. I could make an orange and red mushroom as well. It's always a hard decision because you have to look at it. You have to think about what it's going to look like when you open it up. You have to think about what color is going to mix with what. So it's a lot like planning a painting. Except for with paintings, you can usually paint over. Tie-dye bikinis were the shit in the late 70s. My mom keeps telling me I was born in the wrong era, but I tell her no, I OD'd in that era and I was reborn. Reincarnated. Nova wanted out. She'll knock when she wants back in. Oh, I gotta get some more water in there. It's very important to use distilled water or softened water for your dyes. I don't prepare my water anymore. I used to prepare it with water softener and all these other things. But in the long run, it's cheaper to just go buy the distilled water. Hello, sweet Arizona sugar. Sweet as sugar. Hello, hello. Welcome to Christy's Craft Corner. Right now I'm working on a kind of a scenery tie-dye. It's going to have the sun, a mushroom, and a butterfly. So I'm still undecided on this mushroom, what color I should make it. This was taking so long. I'm sorry. Decisions are hard for me to make. I think I'm going to go with green and blue this time. No, because I have to have green and blue for the sky. So it has to contrast so that people can see the mushroom. I could do a little black mushroom. I'm going to do a little black mushroom. That's what I'm going to do. I solved the problem. And I'm going to use my good syringe. That way I can control the dye a bit better. I hate doing that, but... a little black mushroom. Can anybody guess how to make gray? Anyone who hasn't watched any of my videos? Can any of you guess how to make gray? I believe they call them Procyon dyes. My dyes come from Colorado Wholesale Dyes. Let's see if that's gray enough. It's not. Well, there's no white in tie-dye. It's liquid dye. And that's going to be a dark gray, but that's okay. The way you make a gray color is you have a very little bit of black and a lot of water. Okay, so I got my sun and my mushroom dyed, and I want those to kind of stay down where they're at. So I'm going to work on the butterfly now. And now on the butterfly, this little piece right here is the body and the head. And these two pieces are the wings. And they're real tiny. And I gotta get 1 or 2 drops of color in each of those pieces. And I want my butterfly's body to be gray as well. I need a testing spot. I'm gonna have to wash this out soon, so I have a testing area. Okay, so my butterfly's body is gray. That's pretty light gray. Lakewood, I've been there. Alright, so the wings of the butterfly, color should I make the wings of the butterfly? Usually works out if I do a green and blue or blue and purple. Everyone likes blue. I'll do blue. Blue wings. Pink wings. Maybe on the next butterfly we'll do pink wings. Do you know how I would get the color pink without having the color pink? Can you tell me that one? How do you get the color pink if you do not have pink? You get it by watering down fuchsia quite a bit. Right, but in tie-dye you don't have white. So anywhere that you would want to use white, you would use more water. Anywhere you would want to darken a color, you would use black. Okay, so now I have the body and the wings done. I need to do the surrounding area, which unfortunately is usually black. This is a dangerous color to use right now, so I will probably wait until the very end to do that part. Safe place to sit this. Okay. Rinse out syringe and work on the background. Which is the ground and the sky, so I'm going to do orange on the sun first. Well, bleeding is kind of a thing. It does create kind of an issue sometimes. The The way you prevent bleeding though would be a resist of some sort. You want things to bleed a little bit because you want the colors to kind of blend in a cool way. But a lot of bleeding can cause problems and mess up your pattern. You can use thickened water or thickened dyes or things that we like to call resist. The resist would be anything that stops the dye from flowing into a certain area. That's why we bind things with rubber bands or with artificial sinew. This brown string that you see on some of it is called artificial sinew. It keeps things from going in certain places and also leaves behind a white line wherever it's at. So you have different types of resist. I have a product that's called sodium alginate, and you can thicken water or thicken dyes with it. And it helps keep it from running all over the place. You can also use, and I've only done it a couple of times, but you can actually use clear school glue. You can draw on your fabric with this first and let it dry. And then you can tie-dye your fabric, and then wherever the glue was, you make sure it's washable though. And wherever the glue was, it should still be white. It should resist the dye and should still be white whenever you rinse it out. There's a better thing to use than that glue, but it doesn't wash out as good. But I've found that a lot of artists are now using thickened water. Let me show you the product real quick. I think you have to purchase this from Dharma Trading Company because that's where I got mine. I don't know if you guys see this backwards like I do. But it says seaweed thickener. And it looks like sand kind of. It's kind of like adding cornstarch to something. It just makes it thicker. Or, you know, like it turns it into like a gelatin almost. Alright, back to the dye. So I have my mushroom. It's going to be black and gray. And the top of it's already bleeding out. So it's going to be messed up. That sinew was supposed to keep it from bleeding out, but apparently it did not. Sometimes that happens. Okay, so I'm going to dye the rest of this. And on top of the mushroom is going to be, this would be the outside of it. So I'm going to do blue up here, but there's going to be some green over here. So like some blues and some greens. And I have to do blue around the sun as well. So I might go ahead and get all that blue out of the way. But I don't want my turquoise and my orange to mix. Can anyone tell me why? Actually, I'm going to do the green first. I'm going to do things a little bit backwards on this one as well. I'm going to do some dark green and then I'm going to do some light green over it. But this is kind of my grassy area, I hope, of my tie-dye. I really hope it's the grassy area. And now I'm going to switch over to my turquoise. Try to rinse it out. And remember, turquoise is that color that I start off doing the sky in. And I do it in drips. But I don't want that to mix with orange. And there's a good reason why. So I'm going to stay away from that orange as much as possible right now. Caterpillar, I wear my bracelet when I go out. Sometimes I feel like I need that extra added protection. I really don't want this blue going over to my sun, messing it up, turning it green or whatever. So I'm trying to be careful about that. Any part I leave white will look kind of like clouds. Right, so that's that side. And I can't really lay the other side flat because this is sticking up. So I kind of like have to pick it up and just hold it. And I'm going to call this one good. Oh, looks like I screwed up somehow, somewhere. My son got a dot of something on it. That sucks. Shit happens. And then I still wanted to do a border on that butterfly. But I think instead of using my, instead of using my syringe, I'm going to use a paintbrush so I can better control that dye. Yep. Screwed up my sun. This controls the dye a little bit better. I might need a bigger paintbrush though. This one might be a little bit better. Another thing you can do with these dies is you can thicken them and paint with them as if you're just painting any project. Trying to only get the border of this butterfly black. Nothing else. It might help if I turn on my light. Now I'm blind. Shit. That actually helps a lot. I bet you guys can see it better too. I'm just doing it slowly so it doesn't ruin my picture. Like, I think the mushrooms are already going to be weird, but hopefully at least the butterfly comes out okay. The sun kind of got, it touched something, so it's going to be messed up, but I think that's good. Alright, now I need a different deal to put this stuff on. They're all dirty. That's not good. That's not good. Okay, so I have to find somewhere else to stick this thing. Maybe the other side's good. Hopefully this one comes out good.
No. What Shane died of?
She had diabetes and heart complications. She went to the hospital for heart complications, but I have no idea what she actually died of.
Okay. She had heart problems and diabetes. So, but they don't know.
She had lots of health problems, so there's no telling. She also smoked cigarettes.
Yeah. She probably had COPD too.
Alrighty. Back to it. You guys see better now that I turned on the light? I bet you can. I sees better too. Alright, now it's time to do that star flower. And I want to do one side exactly like the other. We'll see how that works. Trying to remember if I did one color, then the next color, then the next color. I think that's how I did it. My mom's so funny. Okay. I don't know if I should dye this like pie or if I should dye this like they take 24 to 48 hours to what we call cure. They have to set for 24 to 48 hours. The longer the better. Some people will let theirs set until they're like dried out. In the desert, you have to use a product called urea. It keeps the liquid dye wet long enough to do the process, because if you live in the desert, it sucks the moisture out of the air, so it sucks the moisture out of your liquid dyes. Sweet as sugar, it's on other videos. The binding part is on other videos. It's such a long process that, and the way I do them in batches. So, one day I'll be sitting here binding them, and then another day I'll be dyeing them, and another day I'll be washing them out and showing you guys. Because really there's several steps to the process. First, you have to wash your materials, make sure all the factory oils and extra lint and everything is out of the way. Then you have to soak them in soda ash. After you soak them in soda ash, you wring them out, and you want them to be as dry as possible, because the drier your material, the more dye it's going to take. So, binding and dye placement is the part where creativity and artistic abilities meet. Because you kind of have to see it in your head where what the end product is going to look like. There's no for certain sure on a lot of it because it's tie-dye. So you just kind of have to guess. Soda ash. Soda ash is, well, you can buy it at different places. You can purchase it at Walmart or at the Dollar General. It's called something else, but tie-dyers call it soda ash. It is close to baking soda. It's one molecule off. It's where you take baking soda and you pretty much cook it until it becomes a different thing, and it becomes soda ash. It's like the glue. It is what makes the dye really, really stick and really, really have that vibrancy and last for many, many years. If you don't use soda ash, it's likely that your colors will fade very fast, and sometimes it won't even stick to your fabric. Like, it'll just rinse out. So it's kind of, it's kind of important. In the tie-dye kits that you get from like Hobby Lobby or Walmart, they're not gonna include the soda ash. They skip all that and they use a different type of dye, and you're not gonna get the same results from a tie-dye kit as you will if you do it like this. So yes, you have you wash your materials first, then you soak it in soda ash, then you want the soda ash to stay but not so much the water, so you wring it out or you stick it in the dryer. If you happen to stick something soaked in soda ash in the dryer, don't let it dry all the way. Number one. Number two, don't breathe in as you open the dryer because soda ash is very dangerous. Soda ash, if you breathe it in, you get something called soda ash poisoning. And it is similar to this the virus that there's what they say the virus does to your lungs. It basically strips your lungs of everything protective, and then you basically start drowning in your own fluids and you can't breathe. So soda ash, well, with a lot of this stuff, we're recommended to use gloves and a mask because you don't want to breathe in the dye powder. You don't want to breathe in the soda ash. Soda ash, it's abrasive as well. It dries out your skin really, really bad. So a lot of tie-dye artists wear gloves while they're messing with it or while they're messing with the material that has it on it. These tapestries, I let them dry out so far that I might get a light dusting on my hands whenever I'm messing with them when I'm binding them. But I learned that the drier the material, the less they bother my hands. If I leave them damp with the soda ash, then it really tears up my skin. I know someone, the person that did the Ron star, tie-dye Ron, the one that did the star over my window over there, he's actually allergic to dye powder. So he can't do the ice dyes because you really have to work with the powder. He can't get any of it on his skin. So he actually has someone else mix the dyes up for him. Because even if you use gloves, sometimes your gloves can get a hole in them and it can go through. And then sometimes gloves don't carry everything. Where would you find what? The soda ash? The soda ash is found in places like Walmart or the Dollar General in the laundry section. And it's called Super Washing Soda Laundry Booster. But if you read like the ingredients of it, pretty sure it says, where does it say? It should say it on it somewhere. Ingredients: sodium carbonate and water. I don't know. Yeah. Sodium carbonate and water. Sodium bicarbonate is actually what soda ash is. But I mean, this stuff is good for a lot of stuff. If you have pets and your pets have peed on your laundry, or if you cleaned up their pee with your towels or your rags or anything, and you washed your towels out, you washed them 100 times, and they still have that kind of pee smell to them. Whenever you go to dry your face or whatever, you can still kind of smell that urine. This stuff will wash it out. It will take that pee smell out of your laundry. And it's good for a lot of stuff. It's good for cleaning silver. It's good for, let's see, what's it say? Laundry, kitchen, bathroom, silver, hard water, upholstery, and more. So you can do all kinds of stuff with this stuff. But it is the glue for dye. It literally makes the dye bond to the fabric better. Makes the colors more vibrant. Makes them harder to wash out. I don't know if you can see this tie-dye that I'm wearing, but I've been wearing it for so long that you can like see through my sleeves. It's such an old tie-dye that you can see through my sleeves, but it still has its vibrancy. So, yes, cat pee. That stuff. We'll wash cat pee, dog pee. You know that that musky smell that it continues to have after you wash it 100 times. The only thing that cuts it is bleach. But you can't use bleach on your colored towels or it messes it up, right? So if you use the soda ash or laundry booster, whatever you want to call it, if you use that stuff, if you use like 3/4 of a cup to your load of laundry, it takes that smell out and it's awesome. I love that shit. All right, so I'm ready to do this Starflower, and I should have recorded the last time I did the Starflower, or maybe I did, and I should go back and look. But I gotta do the front exactly how I do. I gotta do one side exactly how I do the other side to make it a symmetrical die. And this is my center right here. So I'm gonna start. I started with what in the center of that one? I started with green. So this time I'm gonna start. I might start the center with fuchsia this time. Or pink. I'll make pink this time. So let's filled up my syringe with water. And I'm going to get just a drop of this fuchsia in there. Shake it around. Now if you want to test your colors as you're going, one of the ways that you can do that is by getting a white paper towel and testing your colors that way. I'm going to go grab one real quick so I can show you.
Since November. And I didn't know it. So fuck it. Yeah.
Oh, Mama got a potty mouth today. Alright. What looks dangerous? This non-pointy syringe? Alright. So, I might not have it light enough for pink. So, I'm going to add a little bit more water. And I'm making a mess over here. Glad you can't see what I'm doing. Alright, let's try it again. That's a little lighter. It's a little bit lighter. I'm going to go with that one. And I should have enough in my syringe to get both sides of the center of this. And the center is right in here. That looks like a pretty pink. Trying to do the same thing on both sides here. Hold on a second. Hey! I think you can lower your voice just a little bit because I can hear everything through this closed door.
Oh.
Yep, that's like a hot pink. And that's going to be the center of that one. I want a high contrasting color to that. So, because I've noticed that my centers aren't, they don't have a high definition to them. So the next color is going to be turquoise. And I'm just going to go around in circles. A little bit over that pink, but only a little bit. Okay, next, going to do the light green. I better not set that down again, it's going to screw it up. I hear you, Betty. Mama's hands are busy. I hear you, Betty. My mom's ex did some really shitty things to her. That's what she's bitching about in there. Okay, I hear you. I gotta let her in. Hi, baby. What's up, baby? What? Don't jump on my tie-dyes. You'll be a multicolored dog. You'll be multicolored, Nova. Don't do it. My mom really is like the sweetest person in the world. It's really funny to listen to her get upset about things sometimes. It's like, Mama, goodness, calm down. Turquoise, burgundy, lavender, and gray. I would have to create the burgundy and the lavender. But I mean, I could. I would have to separate. Well, the turquoise and the lavender and the burgundy would all blend good together. Actually, those colors all sound good together. I mean, I can. Normally, I don't do custom work, and here's why. Because the colors don't always come out exactly how someone wants them. And sometimes the pattern doesn't either. I try to experiment more with the custom stuff on tapestries because I can. But as far as like shirts go and stuff, I don't do custom work on shirts because I always have that, oh, it's the right color, but it's not the right size, or there's always a problem with that. So I kind of quit doing the whole custom work. Things come out how they want to. So if people just choose from, you know, what I have, then I'm not stuck with a bunch of things that nobody likes. And these tapestries are one size fits all, so it's like it's not a loss with the tapestries. With the shirts, I held on to shirts forever that wouldn't sell because they were the right color but the wrong size, or the wrong color and the right size. And that's all just kind of nightmarish to me. You'll pay up front for materials? Okay. Yes, tapestries are wall hangings. Just decorative pieces for the wall. I hope this starflower comes out pleasing to the eyes. I think I have every color on there now. All right, what I did with the other one, and I want to do it with this one as well. I like to use black a lot because it helps with definition of other colors. So I'll take my rather large paintbrush here. Get it in my black. I'm just going to brush over. And then I'm going to make sure I get it in there a little bit better. I'm going to flip it over and do it again. This black, because I'm using a paintbrush, it's not going to saturate all the layers. It's only going to be on this top visible layer, so it's going to create some different effects. That's one of my favorite things to do with tapestries, though, is color them a rainbow color and then go over them with black just to see the different things it does to it. Alrighty, that one's done. Caterpillar, it's not too much. And I will, oh, can you email me? Is it possible for you to email me? Because I'm not going to remember later what colors you wanted. If you can email me to hippieconnection@gmail.com, hippie with a Y, and tell me the colors and the pattern that you're looking for. Even if you could draw me a picture and tell me where you would like the colors to be on that picture, that would be even better. Awesome. Because that's usually how I plan things out. I draw little pictures and I kind of guess, well, this part's this part and this part's this part, and, try to kind of guess where things have got to go. So, all right, I gotta put this bad boy away, and then we're gonna work on the shower curtain finally. That's that thing that everyone's been dying to see. And I'm gonna go wash my hands real quick. Sticks. My mom's puppy has fascination with sticks. She likes to bring them in. Chew them up everywhere. I'm gonna have to reposition the camera so you guys can see this a little bit better, because this one's a big one, and I saved the last of my orange just for this, but I have more orange coming, so it should be here within the week, I think. Of course, all the tie-dye artists have been crazy at it since the quarantine. So the dye companies have been pretty busy. All right, what color do we have here? Purple. Now, I've been thinking real hard about how I want to do this. And since it most likely will not sell, and it most likely will just be hanging up on my shower, I kind of want to do this like how I would want it, because it's probably something I'm going to be looking at for a long time. So what I'm going to do is a black heart with a rainbow coming off of it, and then I might do an outer layer of black on it, because I think rainbow and black goes together so well. One complements the other. Move things so I can get a wider angle. I want a craft room. My bedroom is my craft room. Okie dokie. Here comes the fun. This piece is so heavy by itself without any dye on it. Whenever I get done dyeing it, I'm just going to have to leave it sitting here. See how big this thing is? So since I want to do my heart black, I'm going to do the heart last. The heart starts where this blue rubber band is. And so this part right here is the heart. The rest of this is the background. And I have very little orange to work with. So I'm going to have to go as sparingly as possible with that. Okay, so I don't want to go any further than here. That's where I want to start. And since my heart's going to be black, I don't want to put purple next to the black because then you're not going to see the purple as, or you're not going to see the black as good as the purple. It doesn't separate the two colors very good. So I am going to start with red. And here's my line right here. So I'm going to start with red. But because I like to start with yellow first, I'm going to count red, orange, yellow. So I'm going to start with yellow right here. And I have plenty of yellow, so I can put as much yellow as I want. I don't know how well this is going to work because it's a shower curtain. And we know that shower curtains repel water. And that's what it's doing. It's not really wanting to take it in a drip form, so I'm having to force it into the fabric by putting the syringe into it and kind of brushing it on. No surprise, really. And that's another reason why I wanted to wait to do this last, because I have a feeling it's going to be kind of fucky because it's a shower curtain. It's supposed to repel water, not absorb. But I let this thing soak in soda ash for like a week before I wring it out. Because I was like, yeah, it may need extra soda ash. It might need help absorbing this liquid. And if it doesn't come out good, I may have to refold it and ice dye it, because that is more deliberate and takes longer, and there's no getting away from the dye there. So it's taking it. It's not completely repelling it. It's having some surface tension issue. I think maybe if I sprayed this thing down with the soda ash water, it might help take the dye a little bit better. But then that's only going to work on the surface. That's not going to get those inside layers. So that's another thing I'm kind of worried about on this piece, is how the saturation is going to be. Once you get the fabric wet, as you can see, it's taking it in now. But for a second, it was just rolling off the top of it. So we'll see how that works. And now I'm just going to go up the color wheel from here. Again, we have surface tension issues because it's a shower curtain. So I'm having to kind of brush it on to get it to initially take it. It also looks like it's possible that some of this is done with polyester thread. If that's the case, then the polyester thread is not going to dye. I might just have to be patient and do this slowly. Sometimes people get in a hurry and they just want to squirt that dye on there. And then what happens is, instead of going into the fabric, it goes around the fabric and drips off. We don't want that to happen. We want it to get in there. We want it to get in there, you know, if I have to stab the fabric with it. In between the layers, of course, not creating a hole. I tell you what, it's textured, so it's going to have a really cool textured look about it, that's for sure. And it is a shower curtain, so it's supposed to control liquids already. It's supposed to keep things from getting wet. So we'll see how it turns out. I wonder if those threads are going to dye or if they're polyester. I'm really curious about that. I don't know what this material is made of. It's supposed to be cotton. And that's another thing. If this entire thing's polyester, we'll be lucky to see any color at all from it. Polyester does not dye. Okay, so, and then if only the threads dye and the rest of it doesn't, that'll be cool. But we'll see how it turns out. Alright, up the color wheel. Next, dark green. Or emerald green. Come on, get in there. Surface tension is something else today. I wonder if anyone else has tried to dye one of these curtains. This is a curtain that the rings are built in, so you don't have to put rings. It's kind of an expensive shower curtain, and that's why I only have one. My goodness, it does not want to go in. And then some of the dye, if it's kind of a thicker dye, sometimes it doesn't want to go in the fabric. You have to break that surface tension to get it to go in. Like, I wonder if it would be better to paint with the brush first to break the surface tension and then go in with the liquid. Okay, let's flip. I really like the effect that the threads are having on it. Because the thread is obviously a different material than the material of the shower curtain itself. There's a texture going on here. I'll show you guys here in a minute. Get a better up close look at it. So you can kind of see where there's like a texture to this shower curtain and how there's like a different effect going on about it. And I kind of like it. I hope that it like it shows up like that when it's rinsed. That'll be really cool. I'm not sure that that's penetrated all the layers, so I'm gonna go over it some more. Okay, it's dripping out the bottom, so that's pretty well saturated. Next up is turquoise, but I'm going to rinse out a little bit of this emerald green so it's not making my turquoise too green. My mom and her sister could talk for hours every single day, and they do. I don't know how they can have so much to say to each other every single day, but I think it's very sweet that they talk to each other every day. I wish I had a sibling to do that with. Then again, I'm not sure if I could just stay on the phone that long. I mean, I know I can stay on the phone that long, but doing the same thing, I don't know. Time to flip. Turquoise kind of ran all over the place on that one. It went over the green even. That's okay. Because this one's going to be a rainbow anyway, so I'm not really worried about too much control on it. Except for I don't want to make it muddy anywhere. That's the only thing. Just don't want to make it muddy. Keep the colors together that like each other. This thing's taking a lot of color too. Next color is royal blue. I'm learning very quickly that I have to brush it on first to break surface tension before I can let it drip in. When my friends come over today, they're going to be like, "Oh, you finally got that big ass thing dyed, huh?" I've been hanging on to the shower curtain for a year, trying to figure out what I was going to do with it. I knew I wanted to dye it. That's what I got it for. But I just didn't know what design, what colors. If it was going to be a custom make. If this was going to be a custom order, I would have to charge hundreds for it. And someone laughed at my my star flower the other day. I posted it on Facebook and I said, this one stays mine unless someone has a $50 bill for me for it. And someone laughed at me and said, $50 for a piece of dyed cloth? You know, with the laughing emojis. And so I sent them screenshots of other tie-dye artists that have these same tapestries going for $300 or $400. Those little ones. Like, here you go. Now you can see that I'm actually pretty reasonable. But I'm also those tapestries that I shared are also designs that you have to pay for the knowledge on how to design those. Someone's figured it out, and if you can't figure it out on your own, they'll sell you the idea. Literally. You have to buy how they're doing it, like the pleated spiral or the wig-wags or ripples. There's only certain artists that have that knowledge, and it's pretty expensive to find out how to do it, their technique. Eventually I will be paying for that knowledge because I want to know how to do those patterns as well. But the star flower was something I kind of discovered on my own. There are artists out there that have perfected it, and they will sell their tutorials to you, but since I discovered the fold myself, I want to also discover how to dye it correctly myself. So each time I do it a little different, hoping that maybe I'll figure it out. And a lot of this stuff is just experimentation, but you gotta have like the means to do it. This color is grape. That's what they call it. So far we have lemon yellow, light green, emerald green, turquoise, royal blue, and grape. Now it's time to go to the other side of the color wheel. To the orange and the red. And that has to stop right here Okay, has to stop right there. So I should probably just be brushing this on, period. The orange. Once you see someone doing this, yeah, it's pretty obvious how much work and time goes into it. But if you've never seen someone doing it, and they got tie-dye kits that you could do over the weekend with your kids or whatever at Walmart or Hobby Lobby. But I suggest people, whenever they say things like, it's just a dyed piece of cloth, I can do that, then I tell them, then please do. Show me your results. I'm dying to know. We have newbies come in the tie-dye artist groups all the time that are like, well, I went to the store and I bought some old man shirts and I got the RIT dye, and for some reason mine just didn't come out as pretty as yours, and I don't understand why. I did exactly what you did in your video, so why did it not come out the same? Well, for one, you can't have a polyester blend. You have to have 100% cotton or 100% silk or 100%. It has to be a fiber material. Polyester resists dyes. So you can't use polyester, number one. Number two, the soda ash is very important. A lot of people don't know that. And even if they do know it, a lot of them skip that part, which is a very important part. Another thing is a lot of people won't let it set. They do it and then they're like, okay, I've waited for 8 hours. I can't wait anymore. I want to see what it looks like. So they go ahead and rinse it out, and that makes their colors really weak. Also, RIT dye. A lot of people start out with RIT dye, and that's a good, if you're just practicing, you can use the RIT dye. If you're just practicing color placement and stuff like that, it's probably cheaper. However, you'll never see me using RIT dye, ever. Because I don't like the way it comes out. I've seen other people use the RIT dye and be very disappointed. I won't even waste my money on it. I never even did for practice. But I don't like the way it looks. The colors don't blend very well. And they don't stay on the fabric for very long. And you end up getting, after 20 washes, you're like, why is this so faded? It's like almost like it's been out in the sun for a week or something. And I don't like my stuff to fade. I like my colors to outlive the material itself. I want to see through my clothes because I've wore them so much before losing color. And I'm so glad to see fellow crafters in my chat today, making connections, and you guys should probably get together and make stuff. It's perfect time for all that right now, Get out there and get together and make pretties together. And this is an art that's always more fun with more people. that's why I've been doing a lot of live streams while I'm dyeing, because I like having company while I'm doing this, and my friends are kind of bored with just sitting here watching this. So, I bring you guys in on it, so at least somebody can enjoy it if they like watching or learning or whatever. I know I sure do. It's a good way for like-minded individuals to get together and learn new trades, learn new crafts, learn new hobbies, whatever you want to call this. I used to call it a business, but really I right now I just call it a hobby until I can start making some sort of profit off of it. It's not a business if I'm not making any profit. Right now I'm just trying to have the ability to keep doing it. So every little bit that I make from selling these is going back into making more. Like I sold a couple tapestries the other night, and that went to purchasing more dye that I needed, and also purchasing more flour sack towels to do my tapestries with. More materials. Also, I do accept if you have something that you would like for me to dye, something that's 100% cotton. If there's something that you would like for me to dye, and it's not something that you're like, oh my gosh, this absolutely cannot be ruined, because dye is unpredictable, you can send it to me, and I will knock off some of the cost for you sending the piece that needs dyed, depending on what you're sending to me. Like if it's a shirt, I usually knock off like $3 to $5 for it, depending on how much that shirt would normally cost me. The bigger the shirt, of course, the more it costs usually. But yeah, if you have like a onesie for your baby that you want me to tie-dye, or if you have a sheet set, and make sure it doesn't have the wrinkle guard on it, because wrinkle guard is a resist. So it means if it has a wrinkle guard on it, it won't take my dye. So yeah, if you have something that you would like dyed, and I don't have that material, like a shirt, pants, I'm not going to do used underwear. If you send a package of brand new unused cotton underwear, I would be willing to do that. But I'm not going to do used underwear. I've actually had that request before. Well, thank you, Caterpillar. There are other tie-dye artists that do this as well. There's this guy, he is good. And I like to promote other artists' work too, so I'm not gonna like sit here and not tell you that there's other artists doing this. Mr. Tie-Dye, he does live reveals and shows people how to do this stuff, and he's really, really good too. You should check him out if you like tie-dye and you like watching people do it and learning things. Mr. Tie-Dye is a good one to watch. Tie-Dye Ron is another good one to watch. That's the guy that I learned a lot of the tricks of the trade from. But yeah, there's other artists out there that do tie-dye. Eventually, I will learn how to shut my fucking mouth. And I'll be able to do some ASMR videos of silent tie-dyeing where I'm just doing my work and the sounds are happening and stuff, but I won't be talking. That way, whoever gets triggered from watching someone do something diligently and very intently, there's people that get triggered from that, and I'm one of those people. But as long as someone's talking, it fucks it all up for me. So, I'm going to be doing some of those silent videos, and I have to be live because I don't have the luxury of having a lot of memory on my phones. So, and I don't have like a computer or tablet. I gave my tablet away. So the only way I have to record long videos is live. So they'll be live. And you guys will be able to talk to each other, but I won't be paying attention or responding because I will want them to be ASMR videos, which means either there'll be whispering or no talking on my part. Wow, this thing is going to take so much dye. It's unreal. I gotta go over this one more time over here. Missing some spots of yellow. Make sure that got saturated. This fabric is thirsty, but it doesn't want to drink. Hey, don't start talking about food. You're gonna make me hungry. I have not eaten today. Not yet. Because whenever I eat, I get sleepy. And lately I've been sleeping a lot. Like 12 to 16 hours a day I've been sleeping. That's that depression kick in my butt. Like I literally have to force myself out of bed. Something I've been managing for years though. Nothing new. Believe how much this, oh, I can't believe it. I knew it would take a lot of dye. It's probably going to take the rest of my dye to do this piece. Skipping the orange. I'm going to go down the color wheel again. You'll also notice when my syringe is really full, the colors want to come out by themselves. It wants to squirt out of there before I tell it to. I don't know if it's because I need to replace my syringe soon or what. possible. Not the syringe itself, but the, the rubber that's on it. And this green is trying to run over to the yellow where the surface tensions are already been broken. And it's trying to overpower my yellow over there. You guys can't even see what I'm doing. Hold on, let me fix that. Let's see if there's a better way to put this. Maybe. Chicken enchiladas too. Man, I haven't had any real food in a minute. Last home cooked meal I had was God, what was it? I think it might have been when I made beans. Or it could have been the leftovers I ate at my best friend's. Not sure. I wish this green would stop going over to the yellow. Let's make sure I got that saturated pretty good. When it stops drinking it, and it starts going through it, and you know it's wet enough. You know you got enough in there. Emo's on if you guys watch him doing a live chat. I like Emo. He's a sensitive creature like myself. Sure do appreciate having company while I'm doing this. Sure have appreciated you guys being here with me today. Sounds like Mama's off the phone finally. Woo! Okay, this stuff wants to drip onto the floor. Better back it up a little bit. Can't wait to see this baby in a couple of days. It's taking forever to get that dye to go into the fabric like I want it to. So I hope it's worth it. I'm still recording, so looks like we're still good on my end. One thing I do know for sure is that these rings, these plastic rings, they're not going to take the dye. They're not going to die. They will resist it. And I hope that I can get done with this sooner rather than later, because it looks like I'm going to have to charge pretty soon. Charge up. This thing is thirsty. Taking lots of dye. Moving up the color wheel. Yep, and I'm going to have to wash the towels that are underneath, because they're getting a lot of dye on them as well. From doing this. From doing this one piece. Gonna have so much fun rinsing this one out. I may have to go outside with the hose. I can already see some signs of polyester in this fabric. So I hope I'm not doing this for nothing. If the entire thing's made of polyester blend, this thing's gonna rinse out clean and I'm gonna be upset. We were supposed to have some kind of ugly storm here today, but it blew over. Just blew right over. I was like, nope, not today. It rained a tiny bit. So maybe you will send some of that storm this way. I'm really kind of worried about my inner layers of this thing, if it's actually getting in there or not. Yep, it's not going to color the rings. But we kind of already knew that. What's up? What's up?
What you doing?
Same thing?
Are you?
Yes. You need me to mute it?
Huh?
Do you need me to mute it?
No.
Well, you're welcome to watch. I'm live right now.
Why is that circle there?
Those are the rings for the shower curtain.
Oh, okay.
They're built in. It's a good question, though. Surprised no one else asked. I have to break the surface tension, otherwise it just rolls off of it because it's a shower curtain. So I have to kind of brush it on before it'll go in. You know how usually you just drip it in and it goes in?
Mm-hmm.
It's not, because it's a shower curtain and it's meant to resist that. I have to be very patient and brush it on to break the surface tension in order for it to take it. So this piece is taking forever. I'm already going on 3 hours here. Well, not for just this piece, though. For everything. But this one itself is probably going to take about an hour. You see? Watch. See how it just beads up and runs off?
Yeah.
I have to make the surface wet for it to take it into the inside layers. But then after I get it all wet, then I can pour it on and it penetrates.
It's gonna be so pretty.
I hope so. I mean, we can hope for that, but if it's 100% polyester blend, then it may not take any of this dye. It might just rinse all out and then be a real big disappointment. We just have to see and hope. Hope that it keeps the color. It is a shower curtain, so. Could also have a lot of white on it from not being saturated enough, because it's really, really thick, and I have never done anything. Whoops, that was close. You guys almost landed in the muck. Her phone went off. She ran away. I almost tie-dyed my phone. That would have been really bad. All right. Okay, I'm gonna do the rest of it purple at the top there. Wish I could just do it quickly and get it over with. But it doesn't want to cooperate like that. Caterpillar, yes. I think every one of my family members has some kind of art medium that they at least enjoy. My biological father was, he was good at drawing. He was really good at drawing cartoon characters, like Garfield and stuff like that, Mickey Mouse. My sister, she was always good in art. She drew, she did animals really good. My older brother, he used to do models. He was really good at doing models, putting models together, like planes, different kinds of planes, different kinds of cars. You know, he was good at putting those things together. My mom, she used to crochet, paint. When she was younger, she did that fancy embroidering stuff that they did back in the 60s and 70s on their pants and stuff, make little designs and shit with embroidery. She used to do that. The last guy that I married, I bought him I bought him a bead making kit from Hobby Lobby and encouraged him to take up glass blowing, and now he's a professional he's a professional glass artist that makes all kinds of things. He makes pipes, he makes concentrate rigs, he makes pendants, he makes all kinds of glass art. I haven't seen any of his stuff in the last Well, going on 2 years now, so he's probably a lot better than he used to be. But I also have other art mediums. I like to crochet. I like to color. I like to draw. I like to write. I like to paint, but I'm very inexperienced with just painting. Let's see. Macrame is another thing that I enjoy doing. Not as much as crochet, but I like macrame. And I have to pee, and that sucks because it's going to take time out from doing this. But yeah, messing with liquid and having to pee is not a good combo, so I'll be right back, guys. What's up, Dottie? Are you missing Nova? Probably has something to do with the virus. Alright, I'm back. What'd I miss? Nice. My mother doodles sometimes. God, I can't wait for this one to be done. I've never been this impatient about a tie-dye before, but holy shit. Because it doesn't want to take the color, it wants to be a pain in the ass. It's like, just drink it already. Don't you want to be pretty? Oh, that's not good. Got so much color on the towel that it's wanting to go everywhere. Alright, time for a flip. Let's give this a little extra. And then flip. My green and my red's over here doing stuff I don't want it to. It's alright. It's gonna be okay. Maybe we'll get a happy accident from it, as Bob Ross liked to say. I'm literally like gonna use all the purple though. I have lake purple underneath this thing. Lake of purple. Gonna have to back this up just a little bit. Almost out of the purple in my jar, so I hope that I get this part saturated pretty quickly. Try not to get my hair in it. Alright, since I ran out of purple, I'm going to go back to my recycled color and go over that purple with it until I feel like it's well saturated. Like you can't get any more on it. And that recycled color is pretty too. That looks pretty fucking saturated. So now I just need to go over that orange spot that I skipped and then onto the black, the heart part. The heart part. Trying to turn it from one end doesn't work. It's too heavy. Okay, I don't usually go over something with yellow after I've gone over it with a dark color, but I'm gonna do it just this once because, man, that yellow really got drowned out right there. And I want to make sure that there's still going to be some yellow in there. So I'm hoping to drown it back out with yellow. All right. Back over here. So I'm down to just the heart, the center of my project. Can't believe I actually made it through that with some orange left over. I'm gonna rinse out some of the yellow. And then I'm gonna break this surface tension with the black first because I have a paintbrush. I'll bring the black closer so it'll stop dripping everywhere. And I might just continue using the paintbrush until I have the surface painted and then use the syringe for saturation. My black is dripping where I don't want it to. I have to start thickening up my black so it'll stop doing that. Okay, since surface tension has been broken, I'm going to go ahead and saturate it now. And that black is starting to run. It's running! It's running away! Alrighty. That one's done. Hands. Alright, this thing is done. So it's going to sit here for the next couple of days. Hopefully nothing touches it. I'm going to clear up some of this black here so in case something does touch it, maybe it won't ruin it. Okay, so we have the black as the heart, and then it goes up the rainbow from there. Big rainbow with a black heart in the center. And that's all the work I'm going to be doing today, guys. My fingers are dyed. My table is dyed. I almost died. I'm kidding. And I have, I think, 10 pieces, 11 pieces. Let me go count. Hey, baby. 9 pieces. I have 9 pieces. Because I didn't do these other pieces over here. Yeah. Look at my hands. That'll come off though in a couple of days. Do dishes or take shower. It most generally comes off. Dawn dish liquid helps to get that off. So not too worried about it. The only thing I'm worried about with this shower curtain is if the color is going to actually stay and that it comes out vibrant, not pastel-y, because I really hope it's not a polyester blend. I will be kind of upset about that, but it's kind of an expensive shower curtain to ruin. But yeah, tomorrow about this time I'll be rinsing out the tapestries. The following day I'll do the shower curtain. I'm gonna leave it longer because it's a bigger piece, but tomorrow about this time I should have some really cool things to look at. My fiery pot leaf and my rainbow heart. And whenever I do the washout, like I said, I'll do a reveal so you guys can see how things came out. Takes a long time to rinse these things out, so it's really no fun to have you there while I'm rinsing it out in the sink. After it hits the washer and I go to open it up, that's when the excitement happens. So, well, for other people. For me, it's as I'm rinsing it, I can see if it's going to be what I intended or not. But after it hits I wash it in cold first, and then I wash it in hot, and hot brings out more of the design. So after the hot wash and it has its final look, that's when it gets really exciting. So tomorrow, what time is it? It's almost 4. So tomorrow about 5 o'clock, I'll start rinsing things out and showing you guys what it looks like, probably around 6 p.m. And I'm in Arkansas, so that's Central Time. So if you're in Colorado, it'll be earlier than that. You're welcome. Thank you for joining me today for this tie-dye adventure. Glad I didn't have to die alone. No one wants to die alone. But I'm gonna go take a shower now and try to get this shit off of me. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.